Fenex down. We're going to talk a little philosophy, talk about being honest with yourself. We enjoy this hobby that can be a habit, and being realistic within those hobbies. So, realistic expectations. And, we like to collect firearms with mags and ammo, the accessories, the holsters, all the pouches. We like to collect cool tactical gear. And, maybe we have some training. That's cool. But, I was obsessed with military stuff, even though I wasn't in the military, movies, watching YouTube videos, and, all those things are cool, but does that make you a badass operator? No. Are you gonna save the day one day if there's a riot or an active shooter? No. Not really. Unless you got the training and you're prepared and you do it every weekend and you put those 10,000 hours in. Are you going to be a CCW hero? I got my carry pistol with the red dot and the laser and the light and extended mags and all this extra stuff. No. Not really. What are you really? You're that guy at the range that likes to show off, that likes to talk to his buddies about the cool thing he just bought and all that stuff, which I've been guilty of. Now, I do believe in owning firearms and, getting proper training. But for me personally, I had to take an honest look at myself. Am I that badass guy? No, not really. And then it morphed into EDC. All the stuff that I show you guys. And, I got too much crap in my pockets. Just in case I need it. Because I like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to overinflate my own ego, to think that I'm more badass than I actually am, we need to calm it down. Be a little more humble. So then, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a prepper. You know what I mean? In my mind, to be a prepper, you need lots of water, lots of food, lots of supplies. To be a true prepper, you need, in my mind, you need a homestead, a house with electricity, running water. It's off the grid. Can you grow your own food, hunt your own food, collect your own rainwater, all that stuff? Do you have enough water, food, and supplies to last for, days or weeks? And, as much as I like to collect these things and be prepared, because most people aren't prepared at all, in case the power goes out, you get a storm, whatever. So, was I a master prepper? Nah, just a hoarder. Being realistic. So, definitely enjoy prepping. It's always good to be prepared. I believe in being prepared. But, am I this awesome prepper? No. Especially not living in an apartment that runs off electricity. And I don't have solar panels and all this backup generator and all that stuff. So no. And then bushcrafting. I took a class. Does that make me the ultimate survivalist? No. So to be a bushcrafter, you're going to need your knife, bare minimum, with a saw and an axe, a water bottle, a container for the water, paracord, bank line, a ferro rod with a backup lighter, a tarp for shelter, a poncho that could be used as shelter. But all this stuff is no good without the knowledge and skills. So because I took a class, because I watched some YouTube videos, does that make me the ultimate survivalist? No. Or a day hiker with too much stuff. I'm always going to be that guy with too much stuff. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a hobby, just like any hobby. But in these hobbies, we need to be realistic. So, always be learning. Definitely. You're learning till the day you die. Don't be a know-it-all. I'm guilty of that sometimes. Definitely in the past. Trying to tone it down a little bit. So we gotta stay humble. Stay frosty. That sounded cool. Sorry. But, stay frosty. Be aware of our surroundings. Be aware of our gear and our limitations with that gear. So, these things are cool. I definitely like them. I'm not going to stop collecting. But I really need to tone down the fantasy of tactical firearms use, prepping, and outdoor skills. Until we practice those, and they say 10,000 hours or 10,000 reps. No, I can't say it. 10,000 repetitions. There we go. We're not proficient. And when it comes to using these things in a self-defense situation, you really need to be careful. Consult a lawyer. But you could get in trouble. You could get a charge, be thrown in jail, possibly attempted murder. You start waving this thing around and stabbing people. That's no good. unless your life is truly in danger and you're going to have to defend yourself in court. So, got on a little bit of a tangent there. So, yeah. I had to be honest with myself and stay humble, always be learning. And that's just my personal confession about the hobbies and my role within those hobbies. Peace.